Alright folks, I've been working on the bank again. As you can see, it's now disconnected from everything, but it is now running in parallel 24 millifarads at 450 volts because I don't think my charger is going to cope. It's being joined by the negatives and positives. The center two are the negatives and the outer two are positive, and the inner two are joined by little baby bus bars. I need to get some bigger screws into those, I think. And the other two are joined by this 4GA cable. I went shopping today and bought some toys. They aren't electronic toys, although I did buy some of those. The first thing we're going to do is change over from a relay for the firing circuit to this. It's a MOSFET. Oh, I've got it upside down. It's a MOSFET driver for the Arduino. So basically you feed a signal into the gate and it's kind of like a switch on, switch off SCR, as opposed to once you fire it, it stays on until the current's removed. SCR MOSFET, and it will handle 20 amps, which I don't think is going to worry you at 3 amps for the gate drive on the new brick SCRs that I have coming, which will be much easier to wire. So I got that guy. And I've got this fella here, which is a 4-channel relay board, because I need more relays to drive other things like the bystander alarm, the strobe, and a few other bits and pieces, because this machine will be used at the radio club, so it is going to be used in pretty much public spaces. So that's going to drive a couple of extra relays to alert people when it's going to fire. I also bought one of these. Good old T-Rex, because I'm sick of stripping bloody wires with a pair of scissors or the side cutters. And some output cable, which is more 4GA, which I think will handle the pulse rating of this thing, and if it doesn't, I'll just get 1GA. But I've got a meter of that, because that will go to some massive bolts, which I've got around here somewhere, which are about as big as my thumb, which will come out the side of the box, about about an inch or two. And they'll have a shorting bar across them once the bank is discharged. And the box that you saw the other day with all the electronics in it, well, that's just going to be exchanged for that little sloping case that you saw in the first video when I was exchanging ideas with Alex993CC1, showing him my capacitor parts, because I want to fit everything inside that rather than having two separate boxes. I've got connectors and other bits and pieces. Here's the 200 milliamp fuses and Zen diodes for protecting the inputs on the Arduino. I've got myself some dummy loads, which I'm going to use to make sure I'm only supplying 300 milliamps or 200 milliamps tops, whatever it is, to the PowerX SCR. There's some resistors for the 3-volt regulator, which will drive the SCR. It's an LM3172, and that's hiding in here, along with the connectors that will be used for running from the main bank box, which will be a 6RU rack case now, I've worked out. 6RU rack case, main bank box, to the control panel, and yeah, so that's all the bits I've done. So far, so good. Oh, and I think you've seen this before, that's my stud diode, which I must wire up. I'll probably wire that up at the other end once I get something to fit on the end here. Okay, bye. Oh, and there's another thing I forgot to mention. These are aviation snips, because that's the only way you're going to cut this stuff. You can't cut it with a pair of pliers. You should have seen the poor guy in J-Car today cutting this 4GA, and I can imagine what it's like trying to cut 2GA or even 1GA. So if I ever have to go into J-Car to get some stuff that's heavier than this, I'll take this with me, because they're never going to cut it with the standard side cutters unless they replace them. I think someone knocked off a pair of these from J-Car. They had a nice blue handles. These are yellow handle ones. They're a $2 shop variety, but the number of cables I'll need to cut. And the other thing I got was this stuff, mounting tape, because I suck at drilling. So I'll be mounting some of the circuit boards with mounting tape. I also have a serial backpack on the way to free up some IOs for the LCD, so that will take it from 8 pins down to 4, 2 of which are power. So that will free up 4 to 6 IOs, I'm not sure on the count. And I had to replace these because I can't find half my screwdrivers in one, so I've got a new set. That's about it, so there you go. Not much of an update, but hopefully tomorrow we'll have more bits arriving, and I'll actually have a properly operating charging system to demonstrate in similar fashion to what Alex did. Mine will have a bar graph down the bottom that will scroll along as the system charges up and discharges. It'll have a status mode select switch, so you can go into recycle mode. What do you do with these capacitors when you want to make them? Reforming mode, you can put it into reforming mode. You can set the maximum or minimum voltage, so you want the capacitors only to charge to 375 volts. You just dial the pot back and that adjusts the voltage. And yeah, so yeah, I hope it's all going to work out good. Yeah, so I'll just leave it with you guys, and in a couple of days, hopefully, this thing will be in a nice big box that makes it easy to cart around, and I'm going to go and find a trolley which I can haul it around on, because it's going to be too heavy to shift around, especially when it's got a battery pack in it.